Hello and welcome to A Bold and Distant Future. We're a weekly talk show that sort of recaps what happened in the week in a sort of an abbreviated form. And then we have our longer format talks. We're in the middle of a ongoing series called The Bright Endarkenment. Check that out. And then check our Instagram page. If you want to connect with us, reach out there and get in touch. So we have various voices that come through on A Bold and Distant Future. We try to look at what's happening to our world. Is Trump losing his mind? Did you guys hear about this series of memes or posts he did on his social media like a couple of nights ago? He went nuts. I was going to feature some of them here, but they were so horrendous and so, so awful, so mean-spirited.
It's becoming background noise for me.
Yeah.
I expect it now. What did he say? Do you remember?
He was just posting a lot of these horrible memes, like one picture of the reflecting pool in front of the Washington Monument, but it was filled with, it looked like sewage, and it had a, AI image, of course, of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi swimming in this horrible, vile, pool of water or whatever it was. It's like this kind of thing. It's just so beneath the office of the presidency. It's so mean-spirited. And then now the threats are ratcheting up that he's making. He made some horrible threats that we'll look at today, and you sent along something about that Elon Musk did back in September when he spoke via satellite to a group of people in the UK.
That was absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
I have to confess I dropped out again, so I missed the lead-in here, but...
Hey, someone in my neighborhood is doing this. They've made little pictures of Trump on little sticks, and when they go by a doggy do, they stick it in there. It's kind of an interesting...
Kind of at the same level as what we were just talking about.
I mean, there we go. This is kind of the same level. The immaturity, isn't it?
I suppose what goes around comes around.
Yeah, I guess so.
I had this idea, and you can tell me if you think it's totally whack, but I think it's kind of a brilliant idea that we come up with some ideas to speak truth and buy billboard space in red states and put it up.
I don't know how good it would help in terms of the cause and changing people's minds, but I think it's a good idea.
For instance, did you know that in 2017, and I just got this from AARP of all places, 2017, a law which allowed you to claim losses due to fraud scams on your income tax was dropped, was halted. And so now, if you get scammed, and the article was talking about a woman who got, of course, if you get scammed for $900,000, you're doing something wrong. But then she got a $60,000 tax bill immediately after discovering she'd been scammed. Imagine that. That is put in by our beloved number 47, and I think it's obscene when you were talking about things that are obscene.
I haven't seen that.
I think people in the red states would like to know about that.
Yeah. And your cat would like to know. Hey,
My cat would like to know.
They released the Epstein suicide note, if it is a suicide note, and there it is, his handwriting, and there is the transcription on the right. He's no remorse. What you want me to do? Bust out crying? It's a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye. No fun, not worth it.
That actually doesn't sound like an educated guy that is capable of creating wealth for hundreds of people across the globe, does it?
No, it just sounds
It sounds more like something Trump would write.
Yeah, it's like an immature teenage scrawl of some kind.
Well, maybe that's what they all are, just arrested adolescents.
They are. I found this. I normally don't put up this kind of thing on the channel, but after seeing some of Trump's posts from this last week, I felt like I could put up one.
You know what? There was another one, though, that Trump himself said when one reporter, as he was entering some plane or something, asked him about the Iran war and the cost to American for the American economy, what do you think about how people have to endure, what's going on? And he said, I don't really care about what's happening to people because of the economy. He actually said that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
tape.
zero empathy for anyone else. It's a total psychopathic. He's a psychopath. And
That'd be another interesting thing to put on a billboard, but it would be nice if it
Trump's
if it
a
was
psychopath.
an actual recording.
You're in a cult. Trump's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I keep, we know they're in a cult and we know he's a psychopath, but when do they realize? At any point will they realize, and at some point they're going to be left with this, that we have to kind of deprogram them. The whole nation, half the nation of the Trump MAGA people have to be deprogrammed and forgiven. There has to be, it's like the South African thing with, Bishop Nelson Tutu. Was that his name? What was his name? Desmond Tutu. There has to be these forgiveness tribunals or something, where we heal as a nation. If we're going to move forward in any way.
Yeah,
It's got to happen.
I mean, the reason this happened is because people felt like they had no voice. That other people wouldn't listen to what was going on with them.
Right. Well, the threats keep coming, and Tom Homan is one. I would lump Elon Musk's remarks via that satellite thing he did in the UK. There's just this threatening atmosphere that we're living in right now that seems to be ratcheting up because it's getting near election time again. They have to put the fear out, right?
It's interesting. I'm looking at this image, and it reminds me again of something in my youth that I saw Khrushchev do.
Oh, yeah.
What did Khrushchev do?
This exact pose.
Like pounding the shoe on the podium.
Yeah, during his
United.
You better get your shit together. I'm launching the nukes, baby.
I miss Khrushchev.
Yeah, the good old days.
Here's a post, and I don't know where the document came from, but it was something that Donald Trump posted, and it's horrible. At the top, it says our counterterrorism activities will also prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideology is anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist. He's lumping in pro-transgender people with, like, these radicals. And at the end, he says, if you hurt Americans or are planning to hurt Americans, we will find you and we will kill you. It's
in his best Liam Neeson voice, yeah.
Yeah, is that what he's... Oh, that's what he's quoting. Of course, Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is...
That's where it's from.
Yeah, exactly. But the threats and the intimidation factor of this we talked a lot about bullying here on this channel and how to counteract bullying.
So, can you be moderately pro-transgender?
I don't know. Maybe.
Conservatively pro-transgender?
Just slightly.
I mean, I don't know what that means. Radically pro-transgender.
I think that means that any school child can. You feel that any school child should be able to go straight to the school nurse and get the operation done.
That'd be fairly radical. And is he also saying that your ideology has to be one or all of these? Anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist? Because that's the way it reads.
Yeah.
So
that last line, though, we will find you and we will kill you. Are you kidding me? That's the way we deal with American justice.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's planning on hurting Americans.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about.
Maybe I'd go a little further than say hurting, perhaps.
Well, killing.
Since death is beyond hurting. Of course, after that, you don't hurt, do you?
Yeah, you don't remember it either, so, it all kind of, works out. That was a good place to pause. Let's talk about death.
Hey, let's talk briefly about the patriarchy again, because Valentine just walked in, and maybe she has an idea about how she'd like to get involved on that.
Yeah, we could talk about it anytime if she wants to communicate later, but I would definitely love to have women's voices on the channel.
Well, speaking of having women's voices on the channel, does she want to jump on now?
No, she's in the middle of a poetry thing. They take a 10-minute break
Yeah.
to contemplate, and then they go back and finish their discussion.
10 minutes contemplation. I like
What
that.
do you call it?
Meditation.
It's a meditation on the poem, yeah.
Okay.
But tell her we're all in favor of a patriarchy series or episode here on the channel.
There you go.
We're down for it in any way, shape, or form. We can talk later offline, maybe.
Yeah, she just said she'd need to do research.
Yeah, discussion. So the votes are being taken away in Louisiana.
Yeah, that whole
45,000.
thing is like, that just absolutely reeks, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't it? Yeah, they're just gaming the system. They're trying to rig everything they can leading up to the elections.
Exactly.
And I think this
So
was,
what is the basis for this? Who's...
There you go.
I know the redistricting has happened, but even if redistricting happens, how do you lose 45,000 votes?
Well, the redistricting created some kind of loophole because of the loss of the two major black districts.
Right.
And
But they're not being
something
denied
in
the
that
vote
law
out.
allows you to question, the validity of votes that were not in the New Deal, I'm guessing. However, I'm sure it's going to go to court.
Damn well better. All right. Well, this is something that probably is worth following up on, because if, this is happening and 45,000 votes are just being, flushed down the drain.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a big deal.
Well, it talks to the point of votes anywhere for any reason being taken away, doesn't it?
Yep.
the thing is that the votes had already gone out and the election had already started, and they were receiving ballots via
this is
mail.
what's going on.
And then the
Okay, so they already had the. Well, I would imagine they started the election, right? So a lot of mail-in ballots, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, all those voters will potentially be able to vote again. But it's like once you start an election, you don't cancel it in the middle,
Well, apparently you do.
Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's what the gerrymandering's all about. I mean, it's seeking to gain an unfair advantage, obviously, so that they can get those pesky black representatives out of the House and Senate.
Oh, we're going to have to resolve this. We're going to have to resolve this hard. I think there needs to be a constitutional amendment around gerrymandering.
I actually think that the solution is to dump the Electoral College. One man,
Well,
one
that
vote.
too.
One man, one vote, and you don't have all this rigging based on a district. It's like, okay, how many votes came in? I don't care what district it's in. How many votes came in for and against? End of story. Because the Electoral College basically takes away that premise of one man, one vote.
Yeah, the problem there is that black voters would be overwhelmed with white voters in Louisiana. By having districts, you're actually allowing a certain, decentralization to the point where a district speaks on behalf of its members.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see how the vote, if it was just measured, the data was just given for white voters. How would that stack up? Are they all completely in favor of this bullshit, or are there actually some people with...
We're talking about a state where David Duke got the majority of white male voters.
Yeah, but that's only one contingent. What
They've
about
had
the white women voters?
Who?
The white women voters, do they fall in line behind their man because that's what they're expected to do?
Again, who?
Oh, thank you.
It's a messed up
Speaking of
situation.
patriarchy.
It's a messed up situation.
exactly.
And I don't know how to resolve it. But hey, this happened in New York City. Mayor Mamdani balanced the budget in New York City.
Pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive, and it's if it's good news there, maybe that kind of vision will spread out across the country to some degree. I don't know how they're spinning this on Fox News, but
Yeah, I don't know how you would spin that negatively. It's
The way that they would spin it is to never mention it.
yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
Underreported.
To never bring it to light, because if you can't spin it in the right direction, then you can't talk about it. That's kind of the end of the story, isn't it? Don't give air to it, which is what we should do with 47. We should just quit giving airtime.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Mayor Mamdani gives major gift to large landowners. I don't know, something like that.
Just fabricate something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know our last topic today is going to be a discussion about the California governor's race and the primaries coming up. And I looked into the candidates, and I'm kind of leaning back towards Tom Steyer again. I know we had to talk about that last time.
I'm going to try to talk you out of it because,
I want to hear
number one, we have seen repeatedly what billionaires have promised and what they have delivered. And he is a billionaire who has made all of his money in dirty areas. And I can't believe that he's doing this to create penance for himself so that he can get into heaven one day when he dies. He's getting himself into a place where he can where he can tilt all the dominoes in the direction of his own and his buddies' next rise in wealth.
There's a great interview, and I'll have a picture of it here, with Mehdi Hassan, if you know that journalist.
Yeah.
And he does about a half an hour talk with Tom Steyer, and he talks about it. It was 20 years ago, I think, he did invest in prisons, and then like a year later he disinvested or deinvested or whatever, and so he is no longer there. But his intentions seem good. It's like, you get a feeling from a guy. I get the feeling that he's on the level. I don't feel like I'm being hoodwinked or conned. But anyway, watch the interview. I think it's very telling. But the thing that is bad, and this is why I put this graphic up, is that he is putting so much of his own money into winning this election.
Which we've seen before.
$134 million. He's just way over anyone else. The next one's Matt Mahan, who's only put in $13 million. So he's, 10 times the amount.
If you look at the most recent polls, Xavier Becerra is polling at 19%. Hilton is posting at 17%. Steyer's at 12% in spite of his investment. Katie Porter and that incredible acidic Chad Bianco are almost neck and neck at 10 point something, and still the fear for me is that we end up with there's 12% undecided. That to me is the horrifying thing, because if you add that 12% to anybody else but one of the front runners, you end up with a same
two
party
Republicans
ticket, which would be horrifying if we had a choice between Hilton and Bianca.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, because the Democrats, there's too many fucking Democrats on the ticket.
Right.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know how voting works in California anymore, but it sounds like
it's a winner take all. Top two people go to the November election.
Okay, and that's regardless of party, so you can have two people contending for the governorship from the same party?
Indeed, and that's the horrifying possibility, because Hilton's right up there, and if the Democratic ticket gets split up too much, we end up with a same party ticket. And right now, that's exactly what's happening, even though people can see that their numbers are never going to get to the point where they need them to be to win this race. All they do is detract from the leaders.
Right. So the Republicans are essentially shut out then?
No, the Republicans are not shut out, because Hilton's right up at the top.
Oh.
Percentage-wise, 17%. And again, if the front runner has too much detracted by
I see where
the other
this is
lower
going.
people like Mahan, Porter, and Steyer, then we end up with Bianco, who's, I believe, slightly ahead of Porter and Hilton as there's your race. That'd be horrifying. And
So-
Steyer's, I don't think Steyer's ever going to rise up above Hilton and Becerra, in spite of his $134 million.
But you still have primaries, right?
They're coming at June 2nd.
Yep.
And
Once
The
that's decided, the top two people go to November.
Right.
still a little confused, but we'll leave this to the side.
Yeah.
So there's a distinct possibility you could have two Democrats in the general election.
Yeah, that's possible too, but I think that's a much longer shot at this point, looking
Okay.
at what the polls are saying. And we're only a couple of weeks away.
Well, what's happening in Minnesota? Or is Amy Klobuchar running for governor?
Hell if I know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think
Wait.
he's making noises about it, but I don't know how far that's really going.
But
When are your
Waltz
elections?
is stepping down, right?
Yes,
not,
he is.
He's
Actually,
not doing.
they're coming up.
He's not doing a third term. Which is
Are you
weird.
guys early in the summer or later on?
I think we're in the summer. That just goes to show how politically astute I am about my own state. I have absolutely no clue what's going on. I haven't seen any election materials. I have seen no yard signs or anything like that. So I got to assume it's a little bit out there yet.
Right.
You know, Roy, this is an interesting idea because we have so many elections that have happened, and not that many, but we have a lot coming up. It'd be interesting to have our next go-round be about upcoming elections,
Yeah, I definitely
what
agree.
we can dig up about them.
I agree. I mean, it's hard to follow sometimes the other states' elections. You know,
Ours is in August.
yours is in August.
Yeah, so that's pretty late. I remember reading briefly last night in my stupor that I can't remember what state it was, but there was a woman that was running against somebody else that won the primary. They didn't know if it was going to happen. It was so neck and neck, and then she came out on top. And I think that's going to be maybe good for the party if she ends up taking it. I'll try to dig up more and put it up.
Yeah.
It's just- once I get to a certain point in the day, nothing is retained, and I can say that even during the day, not much is retained.
Well, I still have to be sold on Becerra. I haven't been completely convinced. As I look at Tom Steyer's the support, he's got the support from the teachers of California, some other groups. I was trying to see if the Sierra Club was supporting him, but they didn't seem to.
Democratic Party of California tosses their hat in, or tosses their endorsement in on any of the candidates, because right now they're fairly silent. I have a friend that's really involved up in Nevada City. He's gone down to conventions in San Francisco and all kinds of other stuff. And I haven't heard any, I've asked him directly and I haven't heard anything from him about it. I know he's scrambling with his involvement in what's going on. He's plugged in somehow.
If
Amy
it-
Klobuchar is running for governor.
There you go.
Is she, is it official? Okay. I was trying to nail it down. Seems like she's a shoe-in. She'll win for
She
sure.
should probably be able to waltz in,
Yeah.
if I can use that term.
Oh,
That's good.
that almost sounds like it'll be good for the blue wave.
Ooh, the blue wave.
Did you say the blue wave?
I did. You can imagine how easily that wave will wash Klobuchar, will waltz Klobuchar into the office. Oh,
That's good.
okay, never mind.
Well, let's keep our eye on this. I mean, I have to send out my ballot soon, and I don't know
Yeah.
whether to
So,
go with Tom Steyer or
Brock Morton.
Throckmorton.
Which candidate are you supporting again, please?
I'm going for Becerra because I don't want it to end up being split so badly that we end up with the horrifying all-Republican ticket.
So tell me a little bit about Becerra. Again, Minnesotan don't know what's going on in California.
Yeah, he's a career politician, and that's what some people don't like about him. And there's a few things he did in the past which he's changed his stance on, and people go, "Oh, yeah, flip. What do they call that? Flip flop, or you know what I'm talking about? There's a term that I haven't gotten right, I'm sure. Anyway,
Turncoat.
that was early, wasn't it? But they have a new one now that's a little bit more degrading. Anyway, and currently he's the front runner. He had a surge after Swalwell dropped out because Swalwell obviously had some problems keeping his business to himself.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, I would
and
think
now
that.
now the rest of the ticket is so tight that if it pulls away from those top front runners, it could end up being two Republicans, and that's a horrifying thought to me, especially considering if you watched any of the governor debates, watching Bianco toss out his spew of hatred and just absolutely vile statements, I was just horrified that he could be on the ticket. Of course, that would probably propel Hilton into the governorship, and that'd be at least acceptable in some senses, but he's also on the billionaire dole, so like, you're stuck, man. I'd rather have a regular guy in there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
After the 2016 election, I talked to my brother about his reaction, and he said he was appalled that Trump won, but ecstatic that Hillary lost. I think my point is that may not be the best candidate, but you got to keep California blue. It's got to stay blue.
That's exactly my thinking.
But how do we bring that about? That's my
You
question.
got to vote for the front runner.
You do.
And forget about all of these other people. These other folks, it's like voting for third party. Sometimes it's a good idea. More often than not, it's not a good idea.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to say that listening to Mahon's interview with Jon Stewart, I really liked what he said. But he's running at like 7% or something. He's not going to win. All he's going to do is pull 7% away from the top runner. Or more, because people like what the interview said with Stewart, and a lot of people watch Jon Stewart, especially people of our ilk, shall I say.
The one other thing I'd say about that, though, is if the election is sewn up, if the front runner is well established and we know he's going to win the primary, maybe it's not a bad idea to give him a tap on the left shoulder by voting for someone that more accurately represents our politics. But that doesn't sound like the case here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how to resolve it, and I'm still waffling. I'm going back and forth on who I should support. I need to do more research.
I'm with Eddie on this.
Yeah.
Based on what I've just heard.
Yeah. Well, watch the Mehdi Hassan interview. I think it's short. It's maybe 30 minutes, but it was very... I got a good vibe from him, and I kind of vote on gut feeling, but maybe I shouldn't. But I felt
circling back to my brother, maybe you're not ecstatic about Hillary, but the other option is Trump. I mean,
that just blows my mind.
right.
Thinking about that, obviously, you got to know what you're putting in place if you vote for Trump.
Well, let's leave it there for now, and I appreciate everyone being interested in this California election coming up. I hope I make the right decision. I hope to do you proud, Eddie.
Inshallah is what they say in the Arabic world.
There you go. Now you're really going to get our channel in trouble. Inshallah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Take care, guys, and thank you for joining us at A Bold and Distant Future, and thank you for anyone listening today. We appreciate you being here. Take care.
Good one,
All right.
guys.
All right. Bye.
Have a
Take
good
care.
week.
Always fun.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.